just north of Lake Storsjön, Jämtlands, sometime between the 700s and 1350s. The classic division of the Viking Age medieval Norse language is West-East and Gotland on its own. East Norse belonging to the Danish and Swedish runestones and later book texts, West Norse to Norway and its colonies. Within Old Norwegian, Old West Norse, Old Eamtish fit more or less, with its text not diverging from the rest of Norway very much. Eamtish letters display Western archaisms, u-umlaut and diphthongs, o, ö, a. But the innovations that should already have happened at the time of the letters are missing. Not a single, supposedly early medieval innovation, like leveling vowel harmony and lowering of y and e before r and r, are to be found. It must have been that the legal language of the letters was highly formal and archaic, more so than the contemporary language of the average peasant, the language that gave rise to the later dialects. So, what characterized Old Eamtish? Our Western features in modern Eamtish may be presented an e-vowel for the lexical set from Old Norse fe, tre, kne, and even being dialectally broken vowel in earlier let as yet, light, and earlier thet as chet, tight, assumed to come from an earlier e-vowel, broken just like in many other dialects, including Icelandic. But that is not the whole truth. A simple e-vowel in these words fit nicely into the centralmost dialects, but the western ones have fi, tre, kne, while the east has fi, tre, kne. An alternation between e or e vowels also exists in fick, fick, feck, got, and gick, gick, or gick, gone. While all dialects have e vowel in fritte or frit, from cognate with Icelandic frietta. The alternation between, on one hand, tre, kne with either e or e vowel and the rest of the words with anything from e to breaking may go back as deep as Proto-Norse times. Tre and kne come from Proto-Germanic or Proto-Norse words with intervocalic w, while the rest have intervocalic h. What exactly the quality of the vowels were in Old Norse times can't be known exactly. Was it a tight e vowel, or maybe an opening diphthong e, later either progressively monophthongized to e, regressively to e, or segmented into je? The Eamtish dialects display a sound change where old y is lowered to some kind of open, rounded and probably central vowel in position before a flap plus consonant. This is true for all modern dialect areas. The old words myrk, dark, bylda, abscess, killed, coldness all have some kind of o or a vowel. For Eastern dialects in particular, this is also true of words that are of type older fyr, before, skyrd, harvest, hyrn, kone, that have had the vowel lengthened afterwards. They have the same o or a vowel, but long. However, this is not true for Inner Jämtland. Most dialects have instead simply long ö in most of these words. Why? Did the lengthening happen before the lowering of the vowel here? The lowering of y to o before flap plus consonant is regular in all of Jämtland when the vowel is short, except in the words churche or church, church, and örche or örs, work, maybe with the palatalization blocking it in these two. But first is also an exception. It has an ö vowel in Inner Jämtland, but an o vowel in the east. Maybe R plus S was assimilated to a single fricative sh so early that the lowering didn't have time to happen in most dialects. Or maybe it was so that the lowering happened in all words in all of Jämtland, even in those where the vowel later lengthened. In the words where it did lengthen, this new long O vowel was not just an allophone of Y in a particular environment anymore, but its own phoneme. This phoneme would stay separate in the east, never merging with anything else, however would merge with the long Ö vowel in inner Jämtland. Because first ends in a cluster of 3 consonants of which one is a sonorant, this cluster could have been bimoraic. When R plus S assimilated into a single fricative sh, the vowel may have been lengthened to compensate. This new long O vowel followed the other ones in merging with long Ö. When the time came around when the long vowels were no longer allowed before long consonants and clusters, the vowel shortened, leaving först for inner Jämtland. Definite article occurs very rarely in the old literature. They did not belong to the archaic formal style employed in them. Because of this, it's hard to see exactly what the definite articles were at this time. One of, if not the only, use of definite plural dative from Jämtland comes from a document of the 1400s, where the judges in dative is written domaromom, D-O-M-R-O-M-O-M. There are several ways to interpret this. 1. It's simply a misspelling of the normal West Norse domaronom with the N exchanged for an M. 2. It's a literary repairing of an already weakened form domaroma from older Eastern domaromin. 3. Umum was actually the definite ending of Old Eamtish. The development into hypothetical middle umma and modern would be regular from this form. All 3 of the possible forms, Eastern umin, Western unum, and Eamtish, or maybe even simply Northern umum, are shortenings of older uminum, the normal dative plural plus definite pronoun hinum, itself in the plural dative. The Proto-Norse syncope era gave rise to many cases of syllable final long ll and nn, often in morphophonological alteration with short l and n. But there is a rule that this can only occur after a vowel. A sequence of consonant plus geminate consonant is not allowed. But the dialects may hint at something else. In the words of bä, man, kön and kone, the N or L has dialectally become long and the R dropped, but never in bän, kon, horn or pearl. Maybe it was so that Proto-Germanic nominative Bernos, accusative Berno, had different reflexes in Old Eamtish, the nominative Born having a long palatal, or at least palatal, NN, whereas the other cases and numbers had a normal short alveolar N. The palatality of long N and L must have arisen through assimilation of palatal R, giving both place of articulation and length. By this, the alternation of medial RN in kön, kone, as either modern tjane or chin, hone, höne or hyn, may be explained as the palatal vowel coloring the following RN, making it follow a palatal RNN into being assimilated into just long N instead of R plus N, like in the rest of R plus N words. Over a large area in the middle of Scandinavia, from coast to coast, are dialects with different developments of an old kind of vowel harmony. In polysyllabic words with monomoraic root syllables, like Old Norse wiko, miso, woko, lodo, broso, goto, woro, hana, spinna, mana, lima, vita, spilla, bita, vika, neva, the root vowel gets pronounced more like the ending to some degree. Every province even areas within provinces have their own exact results. Jämtland is in the middle of the area. Its result is that the root vowel gets the same pronunciation as the ending if the ending was a back vowel. The words in example thus become middle language voko, moso, voko, lodo, broso, goto, voru, hona, hono, spono, mono, lomo, vata, spala, bata, baka, nava. For the inner parts of the province, an E ending can also front the back root vowel. For the northern half of the province, there is also another similar, probably later process, where a rounded root vowel assimilates an unrounded ending. These two processes work in parallel in the west, taking a word like Old Norse skotit has shot to forms like skutu, skötu. All dialects display the earlier leveling of root vowels to back ending. Later processes have often obscured this through shifting around of the roots, in particular to different dialectal qualities, or in some cases even the endings. Ragunda and Hammerdals tingslag has unrounded the ending u to a schwa, later often fronting it to an e. Because of this, we know that the leveling must be well complete before this unrounding. So when did it occur? If the historical spelling of place name Stugun from older Stoguni is to be believed as truly reflecting the local pronunciation, the unrounding had happened by the 1480s, meaning that the backing primary leveling process must have been complete well before that. The sun settles on the era of the old language. Just like its predecessor 800 years earlier, it will meet its fate in plague and snow. This will open the next, so close and yet mysterious chapter in the history of the language, Middle Eamtish.